Many thanks for joining us on the program where we discuss governance, policy, and politics. My name is Joy ASONYE. Coming up on the edition today, we will be discussing the Labour Party and the preparation towards the gubernatorial elections on Saturday. And we'll move on from there to discuss the International Women's Day. Today, being the 8th of March, is a day set aside to create awareness for women who are doing their best in all sectors to help each other. And this year's theme being innovation, that is Digit-All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. Where is Nigeria when we talk about innovation and technology for young girls? That's what we'll be discussing. But we're going for a short break. When we return, we'll delve into the interview segment. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Now, after the presidential elections, Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party threatened and, in fact, petitioned the tribunal, the election tribunal, for rerun in some cases. We've also heard the Labour Party asking for permission to have access to the electoral materials. However, the gubernatorial elections are just by the corner. I know INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, had also mentioned the fact that they needed to reconfigure the BVAS, that's the bimodal voter accreditation system, to enable them use that the materials for the gubernatorial elections. But the question is, where is Labour Party in all of this? Do they still have the assurances or the trust from INEC to join the polls on Saturday? That's what we'll be discussing with my guest, who is already seated. He is Mr. Umar. He's the PR of the PCC, that's the Presidential Campaign Council of the Labour Party. I must thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians. I'm Ibrahim Umar.
Exactly.
The, member of the media team, Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council.
Yes, you're quite young. I must start from there. The Labour Party Presidential Council deemed it fit to give you such a very important role. The spokesperson is a very important role. Why would you say you were picked for that?
I think it's based on the 5C: competency, capacity, consistency, the 5C of our candidate. Because if you look at His Excellency Peter Obi, he's a person of probity, integrity, tested and trusted.
Right.
And he's looking for people that have the credentials. If you have the capacity, he's looking for you anywhere in the country, irrespective of your religion or cultural affiliation. So he picked me, a Muslim from northern extraction of the country, and entrusted me with this responsibility. This shows you the kind of person he is, because I'm a working example of securing and uniting Nigerians in the first priority in his manifesto. Because if you give people chance, then you are uniting everyone. As far as I am concerned, I feel part of the system, and every young person in the northern extraction of the country feels cured with seeing me among the presidential campaign spokesperson.
Okay. Now, I must ask, what would you say your experience was before we get into the nitty-gritty of the elections that took place? What would you say your experience was being such a young person and, you know, taking up such a responsibility? Were you able to garner support from young people as well? Were they resilient or receptive to you?
Yes, definitely. Because I have a foundation, Selfless Rebirth Foundation, which aims at giving a chance to the youth and giving youth a sense of belonging.
Right.
That Selfless Rebirth Foundation is aimed at uniting Nigerians. So I garner support from these people that believe in me because I did, and they saw what I did. This is the first time that I am in a larger scale.
Right.
Yeah, but I did it in student activism, youth activism.
So it didn't come new to you.
Yeah,
it was something you had already done. But let's get into the elections proper. What would you say your reaction was when you saw the outcome of the elections? I know a lot of your statesmen were not particularly happy about the outcome. They're not happy about the conduct of the elections in the first place. But in your own state, that's the Plateau state, what would you say the elections, how would you say it went? And were you satisfied with what went down there?
I was not satisfied with the results.
No, let's get to the conduct in the first place.
Yeah, the conduct of the election.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you have problems with the conduct?
We have a lot of problems with the conduct of the election.
So share the personal experiences you had.
My personal experience, Gust, we went there and casted our vote as usual. We leave the place and we expect that our result will be transmitted to the INEC portal immediately from the polling unit. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. And I myself, I in person expect more than 460 something vote in Plateau State, because I know my state. I know how we stand and vote for Peter Obi and that is mandate.
Okay. So
we were manipulated. They manipulate the vote. This one is sure. Everyone knows that, because the governor of Plateau State is the DG of Tinubu's campaign, APC's presidential campaign. So he makes sure that he garnered that 25% for his own candidate. And
well, you of all people should know that that influence that governors often had did not reflect in these elections. And I would want to ask what your thoughts are, because if you had agents, did you have agents who gave results that were contradictory, that had discrepancies from the one that was collated?
Definitely.
Do you have
Even
issues like that?
in my polling unit, we have these issues.
Okay.
Even in my polling unit, I was startled when I saw the result of my local government. The numbers that I know were submitted to the INEC in the local government was changed.
Okay.
So we have a lot of issues like that. They make sure that they change the result from the polling units to the local government level. So you say the influence of the government did not take effect as far as 2023 election is concerned, but I want to counter that. They make sure the places they know they are not going to win, they make sure they get the required percentage for their principal. Places like Lagos, PDP agent said in their station room, Labour Party has more than 900,000.
That's coming from the PDP agent?
Yeah, coming from the PDP agent. And I assure you, we have more than close to 1 million votes in Lagos State. But what they present? What they present was 500,000 for Labour Party, 500,000 for APC. For them to compensate us, so they give us the win there with a little margin. But they get the required percentage they needed there.
Right.
You understand? That's what they did everywhere in the country. And where they knew we don't have anybody to stand for us. Although the people stand there, the people, Nigerians, try everywhere. They make sure they deprive us of the 25%. That's what they did. In the southeast, for example, southwest, for example.
You believe that the Labour Party also enjoys that kind of support from the southwest? Because
definitely,
you must
surely
agree that Jagaban, the Asiwaju, the president-elect Asiwaju, who is often called Jagaban, is called Jagaban for a reason. He enjoys that support, or he allegedly enjoys that support from the southwest. And it was very commendable that the Labour Party was even able to garner the much votes that it did during the polls. So my question would be, do you believe that you could have gotten even more than that? Because what you got was already very incredible.
Yes, in all the 5 states, excluding Lagos, I am sure we get more than 25% in those states. So we are just deprived of the result. They just manipulate and change the results.
Well, that's in your opinion. We will get to see what the courts would unravel, as your presidential candidate has already said you're heading to court. Yes. But let's get to the gubernatorial elections right now. How positive are you that INEC would indeed deliver as promised?
I lost confidence in them because of the presidential election. I was not that convinced with the process. I was not convinced at all with the process, the presidential pool. But we are a bit informed about what we should expect in the gubernatorial election. So we are prepared for whatsoever they want to do in that governorship election. And I assure you, Nigerians are not going to take it lightly. It's not going to be business as usual. People are going to stand and make sure that their vote counts.
What would you say was done differently? Because people did stand and ensure their votes count. Some of them, after casting their vote, they still stood there and until the counting was done before leaving. In fact, even when beavers took pictures of the collated number before leaving the polling unit.
But they refused to transmit the results.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
so
what you're saying is, I want to know what you would have done differently or what you would do, because you just said now that, well, you would be ready for whatever is going to happen. What do you suggest might happen?
What I think might happen, if they try to do the same as they did before in the presidential pool.
You mean not transmitting live?
Yeah, not transmitting.
Not transmitting real time, rather,
yeah, that's the first
to the
thing.
IREV, okay?
Yeah, yeah. And they intimidate people. They intimidate people also in Lagos, in Rivers.
Let's talk about the polling unit where you were, voted. Did you notice any form of intimidation? Did you
not at all.
Right. But you're talking about reports from other states that Labour Party agents were intimidated, Labour Party supporters?
Yeah, the Labour Party supporters were intimidated. And there are records. We have the records. We are going to prove everywhere we go, because there are clips. I know you saw, you have seen the clip of people being beaten, disfranchising people, not allowing people to vote in their polling units. So this is what they did in Rivers, and we even heard a voice of the governor of Rivers State warning one of the INEC official in his state that he should make sure that he did what he want him to do, or else.
Well, unfortunately, I cannot comment on that, because first of all, I haven't seen this voice note you're talking about, and secondly, there are a lot of manipulations that happen lately with the digital space. There's sometimes people can just record my voice right now and attach it and make another thing out of it. So I will not follow that thought trend. But speaking about the gubernatorial, you think that Labour Party is ready? Because we're seeing alliances. I know that in Rivers State, for instance, the chairman of the Labour Party in Rivers State urged members, I think yesterday, urged members to vote for the People's Democratic Party candidate, a gubernatorial candidate, that's Sir Sim Fubara, saying that he's resilient, he's a strong youth, he's energetic, and he's the youth that he's the kind of candidate that should rule Rivers State. And when Nigerians hear such nuances, it's easy to say, is this party even serious? Or was it just Obi that the party and supporters wanted? After that, the Labour Party can now go supporting whoever they deem fit.
It was against the will of the party what the River State chairman did.
Right.
And he was dissolved yesterday.
Yes, that ESCO was dissolved.
Yeah, he was. All the leadership of Labour Party in River State was dissolved.
Right.
And that's to show you that we don't have any alliance with any political party. If you want a better Nigeria, you are with us. But any alliance with any political party, we doesn't have. As far as I am concerned, we don't have any alliance with any political party.
Then I will ask, but you are complaining about that 5 political parties came together to endorse the Labour Party, the ADC was involved, and several other parties. If you have a problem with the Labour Party endorsing, keeping aside their their gubernatorial candidate to endorse another, Nigerians will be asking you, I mean, in the build-up of the presidential elections, 5 political parties actually merged to support the Labour Party as well.
But
so why does it have to change when the tables turn?
No, it's not about the table turn. If I say earlier, when you are in for a better Nigeria, we are together with you.
Right.
This obedient movement is far beyond political party.
Okay.
It's far beyond any religion or ethnicity. is for the betterment of Nigeria and the Nigerian people. So anybody that come is welcome. But as far as Labour Party is concerned, I'm talking about Labour Party.
Right.
Labour Party did not endorse any candidate in Rivers State or whatsoever.
But the structure gave it to the gubernatorial candidate. The Labour Party
we
structure.
have candidate in Rivers State.
Of course you do.
And we are supporting our candidate in Rivers State. And I assure you we are going to win Rivers State.
So what gives you that much confidence? You just mentioned Plateau State, where, according to you, allegedly manipulations were done. Why do you think that Governor Wike, who has been very vocal about ensuring his candidate wins, is going to let it go to Labour Party? And moreover, you must admit that if there's any governor who enjoys support from his people, Governor Wike is one of the governors. Won't you agree?
To some extent, but you have seen it now. His people are not in support of him endorsing the candidate of the APC in Rivers State, because he manipulated most of our agents and ASCOs in Rivers State compromise and give APC that win you saw.
Most of the Labour Party...
Most of them, they compromised.
The Labour Party agent.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons that the Labour Party structure in Rivers State was dissolved.
Right.
Because we did not have that trust in them again.
Now, do you have enough time? Do you have enough time? We're talking 4 days to elections. Do you have enough time to constitute that kind of structure, that base that would allow you have credible people who would deliver your candidate?
Don't forget, earlier on they said we are only on social media. And it got to the extent that they agreed that we are going to win some couple of states, but they say we are going nowhere. The Nigerians proved them wrong. The result of 2023 election has shown to us that Labour Party is no more the third force, but the first force.
The first force?
Yes.
Well, the court will determine that. But I would like you to just tell us what you think about Rivers State. Do you think we have enough time? Is there enough time to constitute that kind of... I mean, I'm not sure how many polling units are in Rivers State at the moment, but it must be a lot. So do you think there's enough time to get people who would be credible and would not, according to you, allow themselves to be sabotaged?
Yeah, most of the people, because you know our structure are the people, and the people are willing. Even if it is tomorrow, the election, we are fully ready. Because there are people that are going to sacrifice, stand there and make sure that their vote count, as I said earlier. And don't talk about this structure of corruption. We are talking about the real structure. Our local, the government of the people, for the people and by the people. And the people are the one that will decide who govern them. So the masses are coming out in number. And Governor Wike has working the people and by what he did in the presidential election.
Right.
They are a bit informed about what they will expect in the gubernatorial election. And they are fully prepared. All the agents that are corrupt in the Labour Party are being dissolved. So we have all it takes to fill the gaps.
Okay. Well, Umar, I mean, a lot of Nigerians think the obedient movement, the Labour Party, what gave Labour Party, what made them thick, rather, was because of Obi himself. And now that the presidential elections have been done with, do you think obedience or those who are empathetic towards the Labour Party and Obi would go out and really vote with that much passion that they did with the presidential? Do you still see that en masse and throng of people come out to vote? And a lot of your members are despondent at the moment where, oh, our presidential candidate did not win. Some of you believe there's manipulation that happened. So do you think that distrust for the election umpire would affect the turn-up?
No, it will only fuel the electorate to come out in mass and vote again and make sure they prove to INEC that this is the person we voted for. And we prove it with the number of National Assembly members we won, it is through Peter Obi's influence is the real reason that Labour Party reached the stage it reached today. But Labour Party is a party that have been in existence for nearly 2 to 3 decades. So Labour Party, I think, is older than the PDP and the APC. Okay. And it's the party of the laborers, me and you, and virtually everyone out there.
But you must agree that until now, Labour Party had not come to prominence at all until the obedient movement. A lot of us didn't even know Labour Party was part of the 18 political parties until Obi moved there. And like you must have heard young people of your category often say that, but if Obi had gone to any other political party, he would still have enjoyed the support he got. So do you believe that now that he's not in the race, Nigerians who do really know who their gubernatorial candidates are? Because some of us who are journalists, when we have conversations with the obedient members, we now realize that there is that interrogation that is necessary to deepen our democracy, where you get to know who the candidate is. It's not necessarily what drives them to make votes. We hear obedience say, I voted Labour Party all through. I do not even know the senatorial candidate I voted for. I do not even know the House of Rep member I voted for, but I just ensured I voted like that. While that is very concerning, does it concern you?
Yeah, actually, it's not a negative concern, though. It's a positive concern. I would say the influence of His Excellency Peter Obi is going to affect, the same way it affects the National Assembly, that we won a lot of seats in the National Assembly, it's going to affect the governors also, because it's a movement, the obedient movement is not on ideology. And all these people, the gubernatorial aspirant, the senatorial aspirant, the House of Representative aspirant, are all in this same lane with His Excellency Peter Obi, sharing the same ideal. So voting for a governor of Labour Party is the same as voting for Peter Obi himself, because they are the people that will support him in discharging his duties. So now, even without him, although we are going to reclaim our mandate, even without him at the moment, we are confident of going out in mass and vote for his adjutants, the people that are going to support him in discharging the duty. And I assure you, Nigerians knows fully well that he can't do it alone. He needs people to support him. And the thing that happened is only going to be a fuel to ignite them and encourage them to come out in mass come next Saturday to vote for the gubernatorial aspirant of the Labour Party in all the 36 states of the Federal Capital Territory. Okay.
I also saw videos emerging and pictures of people, candidates from other political parties aligning with Peter Obi for support, even though the Labour Party also has candidates vying for those positions. Do you think that sentiment will work on the obedience or the Labour Party supporters?
Not at all. It's not going to work on us. They are just aligning with him to get his influence, the influence you talked about earlier. They are just there to get the influence to win the election in their various states. But we have our candidates, and we are going to vote for our candidates. You can't
but does it worry you at all that you see a Guber candidate who says, you know what, I also believed, I am of a different political party, I believe in the ideals of Peter Obi, and so vote for me because I share the ideals that you share as well? Does it worry you that even though you are sounding really positive right now, there are some people who might fall for it as well?
Yeah, to some extent, you can't deny the fact that there are some people, but their percentage is very, very minimal. Because if you have the ideal, my candidate also have the same ideal, and he is my candidate. I know him better than how I know you. So I don't see any reason why you can lure me with you have the same ideal as His Excellency Peter Obi, so therefore I should vote for you. I have a candidate that have the same ideal. And all our candidates are people of probity, integrity, tested and trusted.
And now let's move on to the northeast and the north. Basically, P2B did not really fare so well, but for the middle belt, I mean, P2B did well in places like the FCT and all that. However, do you think his popularity is enough to garner the votes that you're talking about, especially in the presidential elections?
Yeah, definitely, because Nigerians...
Well, what have you done differently? I mean, I'm just quoting the result we got from the presidential. He didn't fare so well. So in the gubernatorial, what have you done between when we had the presidential polls and now that would be different?
The thing we did was simple. I told you earlier, the manipulation and the intimidation is not going to happen again. And that's what they did to deprive us of the vote we garnered in the cold north. I assure you, Peter Obi...
Oh, you believe votes were indeed garnered more than what was
presented to the INEC. Definitely. We garnered more votes than what was presented. This is sure. So we are going to make sure that we stop the intimidation and the manipulation from happening. Then we are going to vote for the people we trusted and make sure that our vote counts. Okay.
Do you agree? I mean, before I let you go, I would like you to tell Nigerians who are watching you right now what they should expect for the elections. I mean, what has happened has happened. The elections have come and gone. I would like you to tell us if you have trust for the judicial system to deliver your candidates and show the world. I mean, you have evidence that you must have evidence, and that is why you are so confident that he will eventually be seen as the winner. The PDP also has seemed or allegedly has evidence as well, and they are so convinced. Both had agents across all polling units. I mean, I know the Labour Party didn't necessarily have certified agents with the INEC across all polling units. But let me hear what you have to say about your trust for the judiciary and those who are holding their breath waiting for what would indeed happen. What would be your say to them?
So I would like to call on Nigerians to be patient, and they should trust His Excellency Peter Obi. For those who doesn't know his own record, or I would say his history, political history, they should go back and check. He was elected governor of Anambra State, but he was deprived the right to rule. His mandate was stolen from him, and he followed the same process and reclaimed his mandate.
Right.
He was impeached and followed the same procedure to reclaim and got it back. So he was a good player in that game.
Right.
And I am 100% sure that he is going to take back what belonged to him.
Okay. So those who are holding their breath, waiting for what will happen, should just understand that it's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. We are taking back what rightfully belongs to us.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck. And for those who are waiting for the polls, what's your last statement to them?
The people that are in the poll, my message to them is they should come out in mass and vote for Labour Party, because His Excellency Peter Obi is not going to work alone. As I assure them, inshallah, we are going to reclaim our mandate. So His Excellency Peter Obi needs people that he's going to work with. So they should come out in mass and vote for the candidate of the Labour Party in the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Actually 28 states, actually. But I must thank you for being part of the program this evening. Thank you for your insight into how prepared Labour Party is ahead of the gubernatorial elections and the State House of Assembly. Many thanks for being part of the program.
Thank you very much.
That has been Ibrahim Umar, spokesperson, Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, who has given us insights as to how ready Labour Party is towards the gubernatorial polls. We are going for a short break right now. We'll return with another interview where we'll be talking about the International Women's Day and where Nigeria is faring when it comes to innovation and technology for young girls. Stay with us, we'll be right back.